What's up guys, Braden here with SuperATV, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install SuperATV's flip-down glass windshield on this Polaris General XP1000. So let's get right to it. First thing you're going to do is grab the foam out of the kit, and we're going to lay it on this upper panel all the way across. So we're going to stay below our two mounting positions here on both sides. We're just going to kind of start it like this and run it all the way across the opposite side. Once you get to this point here, just go ahead and tear the foam off. Now we're going to grab our D-seal and lay it in this channel, just like so. Once you get to this point here, just go ahead and cut off the excess. Same thing on this side here. And just cut off the excess. Now we're going to remove our lower cage bolt here. Pull the bolt out, and we're going to install this stud. Just thread it all the way in as far as you can get it. It'll start to get into the nylock of the bolt and then quit. We're going to go to the opposite side and repeat the same steps. Once both studs are installed on either side, go ahead and remove the remaining factory upper bolt. Now we're going to install our spacers for both sides. Now we're going to take our lower mount and slide it onto our studs on both sides. We're going to make sure that our spacers lined up with our top hole. Then we're going to grab the provided 10mm bolts. We're going to install it to the upper portion and then tighten it, and then remove our stud and install it on the bottom. So your cage may tweak a little bit when you remove the hardware. So what I have here is just an extension with the socket on it. I'm just going to kind of leverage the socket down, and as I'm holding tension, start my bolt into the factory nut. Once I have this bolt good and started, I'm just going to take my impact, still applying pressure, and holding my nut. And as you can see there, so once we have our hardware on the upper portion swapped out to the provided M10s, what we're going to do is we're going to slide our finger back here, making sure that we're applying pressure to the nut. We're going to go ahead and loosen our stud that we previously installed. Go ahead and remove it completely. Grab the provided M10 bolt. You're going to slide it in position just where the stud was and start it into the factory nut on the cage, making sure that our spacer is aligned correctly with both the upper and the lower hardware. Once all the hardware started, just go ahead and fully tighten it all. Now we're gonna grab our upper bracket and our upper filler, line up the holes, install our M10 Allen headed hardware that's provided in the kit. And we're just gonna lay it up onto the cage of the machine, line it up with the provided, or with the factory holes. And we're gonna take an M10 nylock nut on the back side. Just go ahead and get it started. Once it's started, we'll go to the opposite side. Now we're going to install our straps to our side mounts here. We're going to grab the smallest hardware in the hardware kit, as well as the nuts. Now we're going to grab our strap and our M3 hardware. We'll take the M3 hardware, drop it into the mounting hole. When you install this, it should flip down, and this notch here should go down inside of the cutout on the bracket. We're going to hold our hardware in, flip it over, grab our M3 nut. Oh. Once we get them both started, we can go ahead and fully tighten the hardware, then just repeat the same steps for the opposite side bracket. Once your hardware is tightened, just go ahead and grab one of your bumpers, your rubber stops there, pop them in. Now we're gonna head over to the machine and get these mounted. All right, so now what we're gonna do is grab our bracket. We're on the right side here. We're gonna lay it up here. We're gonna take our tape measure. We're gonna measure off of this edge of the fender flare, 1 3/4 inches. Once we have it at 1 3/4 inches, I'm gonna confirm exactly right. We're gonna take a marker and mark 3 holes through our bracket to our plastic. So once we had our holes marked here, we're just gonna drill these holes out, big enough to accept a 6mm bolt. What I like to do is just make sure that this is laying down flat. And then you can just use this as a template if you'd like, or like I said, you can mark the holes and drill them. Either way, I kind of like to use this as a template, just hammer through, drill all 3 of them out. Once you've done that, you're gonna take the M6 hardware provided in the kit, pop it through the bracket, and then slide it through the plastic. Then we'll come around to the back side with our nylock nut and just get it started. We're just gonna get all 3 nuts started. Once they're all 3 started, I'm just gonna take a wrench, slide it back in behind here, and fully tighten all 3. So now we're gonna lay our windshield up here. I had someone help me. It is kind of difficult to do by yourself, but once the windshield's laying up there, you're gonna grab your recessed Allen headed hardware, slide it through the hinges that came pre-installed on the frame, and then just start the nylock nut and do that for both sides. Then we're gonna flip the windshield up. Now we're gonna install our cam latch. Slide it through. We're gonna install our washer and then our nut on the inside. We'll get it lined up. And then we're gonna grab the straight latch and our Phillips headed screw have it all lined up, just go ahead and take and tighten the screw down. Once you have everything installed how it needs to be for your cam latch, just go ahead and take a 22mm wrench, fully tighten it. Then you can check to make sure it's going to function correctly, which ours is going to, so we're all set. Now we're just going to repeat the same steps the opposite side. Now we're going to go through and fully tighten all our hardware. Now we're going to take our last piece of D-seal and apply it to the lip on the windshield frame. We're going to run it all the way across to the opposite side, then cut off the excess. All right, so with the flip-down glass windshield, you will have the option to install a windshield wiper here, also on the passenger side. So you can install one or two, or you can leave the grommets in and not install any. On this specific machine, we're not going to put a windshield wiper in, but it's very simple. You can check out any of our glass windshield videos that will elaborate on how to do that. All right, guys, so that's all it takes to install SuperATV's flip-down glass windshield on this Polaris General XP1000. Be sure to check the description below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.